Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Wonders, they say, shall never end, as it is also said that anybody who insists on putting razor blade in his mouth is likely to spit blood. We have gotten a report right now that thunder lightning allegedly struck and ravaged Ooni of Ifes chamber as Olori Dr. Impetus took to her heels in her Nighty, screaming that this lightning destroyed, furniture worth millions of, naira, as Kabiesi was even thrown to the ground, okay? Now, lightning, when it comes, the way it falls, there's nobody. Even trees, it will pull down trees. And this was an unexpected event right there in the palace of the Ooni of Ife, inside his chamber. That Kabiesi was just there, lightning struck. Wow! That it was an event that, nobody expected. And as this had happened during a period, a night that Impetus had spent with the Ooni of Ife, the prospective wife to the Ooni of Ife that is coming in, that says she is a prayer warrior, that she has been that very great admirer to the Ooni of Ife, and then they've been friends for the longest of time, but it is looking as though this woman is going to be one of the women that will be gracing the palace of the Ooni of Ife very soon. So they said this woman was right there in the chamber of the Ooni of Ife when that lightning struck and Ooni fell to the ground. This woman, was able to carry her Nighty and started screaming. It was even her scream that attracted the attention of the guards and other people into the chamber of the Ooni of Ife. Now, generally, what happens when things like this happen in the palace. They have to make some findings. And of course, you and I know that that is not a natural occurrence. We are in November. In Nigeria, there is usually no rain in November. Well, I do know that in the savannah region of the country, maybe the, do I say not, southeast, you might see, scanty rainfall here and there and very heavy ones at night. But I don't know. But they said there was no rain whatsoever in Ile-Ife when this thunder just struck, right? And so they have done a lot of diggings to find out why this happened at the time, and the fact that when it happened, the Kabiesi, they said when Kabiesi got up, it was like, what do you call they said at that time Kabiesi kept seeing something that was as if it was coming back, like shadows of, tail of it coming back from one end to the other. And they said he now, went for his ancient sword. And only when he went to the ancient sword is like his staff of authority. And he now went for his ancient sword. Let's say somebody had sent that lightning to Kabiesi or anything. Usually, with the ancient sword, it would never even be able to come close to that place. And again, the fact that the ancient sword is even right there in his chamber and that lightning was able to gain access into that chamber is something that they say has never ever happened, okay? They said the ancient sword for any Ooni of Ife is a very powerful tool, a staff of office that can never leave you hanging. You can bring it in the face of whatever adversity, and it's going to be there and to fight for you. That Kabiesi went for his ancient sword at that time because he wanted to use the ancient sword to control that lightning in case it had come and missed and was going back. And when he went for his ancient sword, only to find out that the ancient sword was not there. it was very devastating because he didn't know what to do. They now had to call the Ifa priests that are inside the palace. They came and they started chanting and chanting and chanting because it was looking like smoke. They said the lightning was looking like smoke that was moving from one end to the other. So it does mean that after the lightning struck, it went and still came going up and down as though it was looking for something. And then that was when Ooni of Ife reached out for his ancient sword. The ancient sword was not there. The Ifa priests, they came quickly and they started doing their incantation upon incantation upon incantation. You know that the Ooni of Ife is said to have living Ifa priests, those who are staying inside the palace of the Ooni of Ife. So when they came, they started doing incantation upon incantation upon incantation until that event went down. But then again, the one thing that, felt really, really bad and ugly was the fact that the ancient sword was not there. They said the atmosphere really changed. It was something that they'd never ever seen before. And at this time, they said the Oloris, Dr. Impetus, who was right there in the chamber, had, taken to her heels, ran out of the chamber. As a matter of fact, they said she ran out of the chamber in her nighty to her own apartment right there in the palace because she was taken aback. She could not understand what was going on. Everybody was taken aback because the way the thing struck, they said some people even saw the sign from outside that something was going on inside the chamber of the Ooni of Ife, like from the roof and all of that. It was coming like smoke. Yeah, it was even looking as like something that could be held by somebody. Like they saw everything. People were surprised, and Dr. Impetus was said to have been taken aback, and that was why she ran screaming to her own chamber. Now, the ancient sword was not there, and they said there was a lot of destruction. The chamber of the Ooni of Ife houses one of the finest furniture, and interior, and costing thousands of dollars. It struck everything, like the dining, everything right there inside the chamber. They said the dining and everything. So it was almost as if somebody was sending a message across to the Ooni of Ife. And they said this is such an abomination that they have never ever seen anything as bad as that happen to a king right there in the palace. And right now they are usually, they will go and dig and they are attributing this to something that may be asking for answers, and that something that has a spiritual undertone that had come there to leave a warning, that it was a warning sign for the Ooni of Ife, and that warning sign was very, very serious, that Kabiesi will have to take it seriously to find out what he needs to do to avert further occurrence of this kind of event for the sake of lives and, properties, and for the sake of himself. But however, as we are hearing, if the information is true, they said that the Ifa priest has come out to speak concerning this, saying that it is an abomination. It is that there's been an abomination in the palace, that once there is an abomination, you see things like this, asking for answers. So right now, further diggings are ongoing. As soon as I get more update, I'm going to bring it to you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Do not forget, these are all alleged rumors and speculated information making the rounds on social media.